that there were around 600 military bases overseas, a total that is greater than the
The number is outrageous. 600.
600. How many countries do we have that you have?
600.
Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be checking out how strong is the United States military.
Wow.
And why is the US military the strongest? And here today I'm joined by
Family.
and let's dive into the reaction of today. The eagle.
Why is the US military the strongest? Great military powers have been appearing and disappearing since the beginning of history. Now is the time for the United States of America to be the leader in military might. But what makes it so powerful? Will its power remain undisputed? Are there already signs of weakness? Would it really stand in a conflict with potential rivals like China or Russia? To find out, we should analyse why exactly
this
the
is
US
beautiful.
military is considered
yeah.
the strongest. The numbers. The US has 1,400,000 active military personnel. This figure places it in third place in this category. China has the largest army with slightly above 2 million soldiers,
Wow,
while
2 million
India comes in
soldiers.
second place. This doesn't sound that impressive, but what makes the US military stand out is not necessarily the raw number of men. The US has unquestionable air supremacy. The US military is number one in air power, with 13,264 total military aircraft, a total that is greater than the other five.
Can you do the math? Like, can you see the difference?
Very high.
It's very massive. Very massive. I don't see any African
Greatest air
country there.
forces combined.
1, 2, 3.
2,085 are air-to-air fighters, 715 ground attack aircraft, 945 transportation aircraft, 5,768 helicopters, and 967 attack helicopters. The US is number one in each aircraft category except for air-to-ground forces, where it's slightly topped by Russia. The US has a powerful navy that is designed to work in conjunction with its air forces. It has 20 aircraft carriers, 11 are regular fixed-wing carriers, while 9 are capable of hosting only helicopters and short takeoff planes like the F-35B. This is almost half of the world's total number of aircraft carriers, while most of the others belong to allied countries. If we take into account only regular fixed-wing aircraft capacity, the total combined deck space of the US aircraft carriers is over twice that of all the other nations combined. To complement this, the US Navy has the greatest number of destroyers and ranks third in the number of submarines.
Wow.
The numbers of the US naval strength are a bit tricky. If we count the total number of naval assets, the US falls in fourth place, behind Russia and China, and
North
even
Korea.
behind North Korea, that boasts a surprising first place. However, in case of a maritime conflict, it would still be hard to counter the power of the US Navy, supported by overwhelming air supremacy and allied forces. Land power. The US is slightly behind Russia regarding raw numbers. American ground forces number 6,289 tanks, 39,000 armoured vehicles, 1,465 self-propelled artillery, and 1,366 rocket projectors. However, Russia has a lot of outdated vehicles with questionable performance in case of a real conflict. Meanwhile, the US military has a broad technological edge. The US has 5,800 nuclear warheads that make it the world's second largest in nuclear war power. In this video, we're analysing the conventional military strength,
This is
but
not just
it can't
a
be denied that a nuclear
rocket.
arsenal does
Yeah.
bring a certain status. Even if things don't escalate to a full-blown nuclear war, it's intimidating to any country to be armoured with such nuclear power. The quality. The US Army consists entirely of trained professionals, and many have real combat experience.
So you have something
Since the
to say.
beginning of this
There's something I saw somewhere. They said whoever controls the air controls the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want you guys to on the comment section tell us what you think about that statement. Whoever controls the air controls the world. And if you see very well, if you've checked the numbers.
It's
In the
more of aircraft that are more
they,
strong
in the air, they are very much, they have all it takes.
for the air.
That's true.
They cover a lot more compared to other countries. But when it comes to land, sea,
Water.
it's just,
Just
there. And I want you guys to say something about it. Like, why are they concentrating more on the air? Is there something like other countries need to know about? Yes, there's something we need to know that the USA already knows. Because for them to, looking at the title, say how strong is the United States and why is the US
US
military the strongest?
Yeah.
Obviously, they're the strongest for a reason. So, what is the reason for them to focus more on the air? And there's just so much about it, honestly.
Military conflicts in Afghanistan, Iraq, Pakistan, Somalia,
Wow.
Libya, Uganda,
First
and
time hearing
Yemen.
that.
Yeah.
While other countries still rely on conscripts to fill the numbers, the US can field an army of well-trained, experienced professionals. The equipment, the military assets, and the technology used in combat have excellent quality. This is the defining reason why US casualties are usually fewer than those of their adversaries. A strong ability to project power is another defining trait of the United States military. Size, technology, and experience are nothing if you can't reach the enemy. Power projection is the ability of a state to deploy and sustain forces outside its territory. Only a few states are capable to overcome the difficulties that involve power projection, and the US excels at it. This is made possible by several factors. The home base of the US is safe. The neighbouring countries are friendly. Potential enemies are far away. The large landmass makes it a country that
Yeah.
is hard to invade.
Wow.
It also
So
has
it's only
coastlines
through the
along
air
coasts
they
and
can go and
strategic
meet them.
islands that hold
Or
military
on
bases.
water.
The US forces can reach far, fast, and deploy great numbers of forces supported by the enforcement of air and sea superiority, combined with excellent transportation capabilities. Even if it doesn't engage in combat, the US can enforce naval and air blockades
So
that can
that's-
severely cripple an enemy's economy. The US has by far the largest network of military bases operating outside of its
Yeah, I
territory.
know about this.
Information regarding the exact number and location of such bases involves classified information, so we can only estimate the total extent of the overseas military presence. Back in 2013, the Pentagon stated that there were around 600 military bases overseas. A rough estimate would
Wow.
I did a video about this, and there's something you want to say.
The number is outrageous. 600.
600. How many countries do we have that you have?
600. How many states?
That was the same question I asked
How many states do you
on that
have?
particular video. Like, if you have 600 bases, how many countries are there? Let's say the whole world. Meaning, when something bad happens, right?
One base
One base can
assigned.
assign to different, like in your country, you can't even reach. Oh my
Wow.
God!
be around 1,000 overseas US military compounds.
Imagine.
1,000, we are saying 600.
165,000 military personnel is stationed outside the United States. This doesn't include areas of conflict such as Syria, Iraq, and Afghanistan. The US has significant forces deployed in around 55
It's
countries.
not including
and
the area of
autonomous
conflict that they
territories.
have bees in.
It is also estimated that more than 150 countries have a certain degree of US military presence.
Yeah, that's true.
Alliances. The United States can rely on a vast network of alliances.
Yeah,
It is the
I've
de
seen
facto
the
leader
flag
of
there.
NATO, the world's strongest military alliance.
Hmm.
18 other countries are designated as major non-NATO allies. This list includes countries like Australia, New Zealand, Japan, South Korea, Philippines,
Japan!
Thailand, Pakistan,
Wow.
Afghanistan, Egypt, Israel,
is alliance,
Argentina,
yeah.
and Brazil. Taiwan's status is a bit more complicated and it can be considered a de facto ally. Some countries are not formal allies but have a strong strategic partnership with the US. One notable example is India, that participates in regular military drills together with US forces and some of its allies. Economy. Modern warfare is sustained in the long term by two main factors: the capacity to produce military equipment and the capacity to spend money on defence. American defence companies are the indisputable top producers of weaponry.
Indisputable.
Among the world's top 10 defence suppliers, 5 of them are American companies.
Wow.
Lockheed Martin is the biggest. It reported a revenue of almost 60 billion US dollars in 2019. That's close to Russia's entire annual military spending. The strength of the US military is also due to its huge military budget. In 2019, spending on the US military was a whopping 732 billion US dollars. That's almost 3 times more than China, the
So
world's
they
second
have to be
largest
the
military spender,
biggest
and is
because
roughly
of the money that
1/3 of the
they invested.
entire world's defense budget. While Russia is commonly regarded as the second most powerful army in the world, its budget consists of only $65 billion. Arguably, there is an aspect of purchasing power. For example, it's cheaper to pay a Russian or Chinese soldier, but the cost of high-quality military equipment is still the same around the world. The reason that the US can afford such an enormous military budget is that it's supported by a strong economy. America has been the world's largest economy since 1871. Its nominal GDP is currently 21.44 trillion US dollars. This is almost a quarter of the global economy, and it's backed with plenty of natural resources, advanced infrastructure, and technology. Besides the ability to sustain an enormous defence budget, the US often uses its economic strength as a weapon by enforcing economic sanctions. Soft factors. Soft power is another factor that comes into play when assessing a
Yeah.
country's might. The
Education,
US is
technology,
world-beating in
business,
culture,
all of these.
education, and technology. American pop culture has an enormous influence, and this won't change anytime soon. America also hosts most of the world's top-ranking universities with a record number of international students. The US leads the world of technology and digitalization as home to the world's most influential tech companies like Apple, Google, Microsoft, and Facebook. It's easy to think that this doesn't seem important in warfare,
It's very
but
important.
imagine an enemy soldier that would have to attack the country where his cousin studies, the country of his favourite music band, the country of his favourite actors from the movie that he watches on an American
I've never thought about this
In this light,
in this light. That's true. It's quite an is
there's a soft spot
sports, yeah.
that I've been building with time, and it's real. It's a soft spot. You have a favorite artist.
My favorite artist
In-
is there. Why
Everybody,
would I want
it's something to happen. You don't want them to die. So,
my cousin is there, my third cousin.
so
Wow, this is a very huge
media
advantage.
platform like YouTube, or an American smartphone with American software. Finally, there is another critical aspect. It is called the will to fight, and this is the single most important factor in war. The will to fight is the disposition to engage in combat, the determination to keep fighting even when facing precarious odds, and finally to win. At an individual level, a soldier with a low will to fight will avoid engagement with the enemy and is likely to flee when things get tough. A battle is won when the enemy's will to fight is broken. Wars don't end when one military destroys the other. Wars end when one side grows weary of fighting, doesn't see any further purpose in the continuation of the conflict, and gives up. The national will to fight is what keeps a nation fighting. This is commonly linked to a sense of patriotism, national identity, and motivation generated by the idea that one fights for what is right. In the past, this has been a strong point of the US, as Americans have been fighting against dictators and terrorists that lacked concern for human life and dignity. In contrast, the USA has been regarded as a country that embodies values of freedom, democracy, and rule of law. It was the country that defined such values. Even more, it was the country that was willing to fight for these values. The American soldier has been motivated by a sense of moral supremacy rooted in the country's Christian tradition. However, America doesn't seem to be so cohesive in its values anymore. There are many factors intertwined that provoke this. It's a complex topic that deserves a study on its own. But the outcome is that America is now a country that is greatly divided among ideological lines and systems of belief. Many of its citizens are not sure what to believe in anymore, or even what they stand for. There have been many lessons in history. Small nations became great empires by holding high moral standards along with a disciplined and motivated army. A great empire's fall was usually preceded by internal strife and moral crisis. The final story of the United States of America as a global power is not yet written. The nation's strength rests upon its citizens and their decisions. It's a matter of this great nation getting back its cohesion and moral compass. That is, if it wants to keep its status as the world's greatest superpower and defender of freedom.
Wow. This video does make me realize that some things I was thinking about that should be the reason why Americans are the strongest, but the social media, when they mention the social media and the Hollywood, the music, those little things, I've never thought of it in that
Me
light.
too. I've never.
I'm always thinking about the armed force, the military, the this, the that, but the social media, the Facebook and everything.
She made mention of two things that got stuck to me. Before, I know USA to be a very patriotic people.
Yeah.
Even to their flag, they respect their flag. You can never see a US citizen in that country ambush, and you
They
don't
cannot
dare
live
it.
there.
You can't try it. But now that spirit is declining. You hardly see that in embedded in them. You can still see it in the older generation, but the younger ones, they don't really know what it takes for their forefathers to bring them to that point where they are now. They see it as something that is just there.
And there's
Forgetting that people
something,
fought for it.
there's something she mentioned. She was like, their belief, like when there's a spirit of when there's a unity in focus and belief,
Yes.
that's a strength. But right now they have different belief, different things,
Ideology.
different
Ideology of
ideology,
different
different
things.
things they stand for. So even their military, they might encounter like, oh, I don't think we should be fighting for this. I don't think it's right. But back then they had this like strong belief and unison of heart. And right now there's a shake, and that's a like it's not good on their
it's
strength.
not good. It's going to really affect them.
Them a
Aside
lot.
having all of the equipment and everything that it takes to fight, you still need that oneness to be able
of
to.
heart.
She said
If
it.
not, it won't.
Yeah,
it won't go
the
far.
winning powers are those that can withstand it, that can stand and say, why am I fighting for this? Okay, I have a reason why I'm
Right.
doing this.
I'm doing
But if
this.
there's that reason is not there and there's no unity, then you fail, even with the whole budgeting and everything you have. Thank you guys for watching to this point. This is a very enlightening video that every American citizen should see, because you guys need to build back that spirit of patriotism that is declining among the new generations.
And that's the only weakness with all the things they mentioned. That's the only weakness.
The weakness.
The rest of them have been handled with money and budgeting.
So see you guys in our next reaction. Do well to subscribe, like, and share our video. We love you guys, and bye for now.